morning students. I am Vipul Tiwari, Faculty of Physics in Bharatiya Vidyapeeth School. Today we are going to discuss two of our previous year questions which were asked in the IIT JEE Advanced in year 2005 and 2006. So let us discuss both of these questions one by one. Okay. So the very first question here says that there are three large parallel plates having uniform charge densities as shown, and we have to find the electric field at point P. So we have to find the electric field at point P due to these three parallel capped uniformly charged parallel plates, right? So we have given four options. Now since we know that electric field from any electric field due to any parallel plate is away from the positive plate and towards from the negative plates. So electric field due to both these plates will be in the same direction, and the direction is, and we know that this is the z direction in the upper direction. So this is actually negative z direction, right? So this is negative k. Okay. So electric field due to this plate will be in this direction, and due to this plate will also be in this direction. So we will drop this minus sign since we have taken electric field in its particular direction. Also due to this plate, we know that the electric field due to any parallel plate K is towards the negative plate and away from the positive plate. So the electric field due to all these three plates at point P comes out to be, due to one plate it is sigma upon 2 epsilon naught plus its sigma is actually twice of sigma. Its sigma is actually twice of sigma upon 2 epsilon naught plus this is only sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Since we have dropped the minus sign of this and this plate because we have taken the electric field in its direction, right? So this comes out to be, the LCM is twice of epsilon naught, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4 sigma upon twice of epsilon naught, and we can see that the electric field due to all these three plates comes out to be in the direction opposite to the k cap. That means it is in the direction which is opposite to the k cap. So opposite direction will be minus k cap, right? So the answer comes out to be twice of sigma upon epsilon naught in the negative k direction, right? So we will take this minus here, and this is twice of sigma upon epsilon naught k cap. So we can see that option C is the correct answer for this particular question, right? Now coming to the next question. In this question we have given that the electrostatic potential phi r of a conducting spherical symmetric system kept at origin as shown, and given that phi is equal to kq by small r, where r is greater than r naught, and r naught is actually the radius of this spherical symmetric system, and phi r is kq upon capital R naught, where r is smaller than or equal to r naught. And this is the diagram, this is actually the graph of potential at any distance r versus radius of the spherical symmetric system, or the distance from its center. Okay, so we have given four options, and we have to choose the correct option, and the correct option can be one or more than one in this particular case, right? So IIT used to ask such questions in which there are more than one possible answers, right? So the correct answer of this particular question may be A, B, C, D, or AB, or BC, or CD, or ABC, or even all the four options. So we have to check all the options one by one carefully, right? So the very first option says that for r smaller than r naught, energy stored is 0. What is the meaning of when r is smaller than r naught? We have a spherical symmetric system. Kept at origin, right? And this is its radius. The radius of this sphere is r naught, and we have given that energy stored is 0 for r less than r naught. Yes, this is the correct option because we know that the potential inside any conducting sphere is constant. We know that, right? We know that the electric field inside any spherical conducting system is 0 and potential inside any spherical symmetric system is constant. So let us suppose 2 points, here point A and here point B, right? So the work done in bringing this charge q from this point to this point, right? Actually the charge q is the whole charge which is spread on this spherical symmetric system, right? Because this is the charge we have given in the question, so we cannot take actually small q. So let us take q dash. So if we bring this q dash from this point to this point, then the work done will be potential at point A minus potential at point B times the magnitude of the charge. And we know that the potential inside the spherical symmetric system is always constant. So both these potentials will be equal, and if these potentials are equal, then this value will be 0. And we know that if work done in bringing any charge, from one point to the another point inside spherical symmetric system is 0, then this work done is stored as the energy of this system. So energy comes out to be 0. So we can see that this option A is the correct option. Now look at for the second option. Within r is equals to 2r. That means for a distance r which is twice of the distance of r naught. That means if this is r naught, then again taking another r naught, and this is the spherical cell which is having radius small r. Now here they are saying that total charge is q. Yes, this is obvious because we know that all the charge on any conducting sphere resides on its surface, and whole its surface comes under this vicinity of this spherical cell. So this is the correct option. All the charge will reside on its surface and all the charge is under this spherical cell. So this is the correct option, we can see that, right? Now discussing the next option. There will be no charge anywhere except at r is equals to r naught. That means all the charge, they are saying that there will be no charge except r is equals to r naught. That means all charge is somewhere here on the curvature of this sphere and not anywhere except this. Yes, this is the correct thing actually they have put, because we know that doesn't matter what amount of charge we are giving to this conducting spherical cell, all the charge will reside to its outer surface and not it will leave its surface. So all the charge will reside on the curvature of this sphere, and we know that from the center, from the origin, this curvature is r naught distance apart. So this thing also is actually correct thing they have told us, because all the charges only r is equal to r naught and nowhere, right? So we can see that option C is also a correct option. Now talking about option D. In option D, they have told that electric field is discontinuous at r is equal to r naught. Yes, it is also a correct option, because we can see that we know that if we are going to plot a graph of electric field due to this spherical cell versus distance r, we know that if let's say this is the distance from here to here, this is the distance r, we know that electric field inside any conducting closed spherical cell is 0 up to its curvature. We know that. So the graph will be here, it is 0 0 0 0 0 0 up to r naught. Now as it reaches r naught, the electric field comes out to be, we know that it is what? It is actually k q by r square. So from here it will be like this. It will be start from right there, because this is the magnitude which is k q divided by r square. So we can see that this graph goes right straight from 0 to R naught, and then it starts from somewhere here, and we can see that the graph is broken. The graph is broken from at the distance R is equals to R naught, and we can see that we can find a hole here in the graph because this is broken. So this is discontinuous as this discontinuous at R is equals to R naught. We can clearly see from the graph, from the curve of electric field versus R. So we can see that option D is also a right option. So in this particular question we have seen that all options A, B, C and D are the correct options, right? So this was all about of both these questions. Thank you.